What's going on, YouTube? Now we're getting ready to start another episode. This is the poly bushing installation part 2. So really, this is gonna be kind of chopped and screwed because there was so much content to cover and actually a lot of work to do that I really don't even know where to start or begin. So I'm just gonna let you know. So at this point right here, I'm having a hard ass time removing one of these bolts that the previous owner of the car decided to use a whole bottle of Loctite on. So as you see me struggling with the Ugga Dugga using this thing right here, I ended up having to put the blowtorch to this.
Alright, we are back to it. Now we're gonna do these front lower control arms and or traction arms, whatever you would call these things. We're gonna bust these bad boys out with the press, and we're gonna be installing the SPF 3040K. Now this is a Super Pro bushing kit, so we're gonna try to do that. So here we go. Let's try it out.
Like you wanted me, calling me all the time.
There's a lot of pressure on that right there, so
government is trapping the system.
damn it. All right, there we are. Pressed. On to the next. I have no idea where that centerpiece jumped to. All right, so let's go ahead, set it up.
And just so you guys know, the only reason I didn't fast forward this part right here was because I actually wanted to show you in real time how long you should hold that flame before that bushing is going to start to move on you. So that's the only reason I didn't fast forward that part. So as you were.
That thing is hot. Ain't no joke, that thing is burning hot. It's getting caught up on the lip right here.
Actually, what was happening was the bushing itself was actually touching the plates, so it was actually getting caught on the plates at the bottom, and I kept messing with it thinking that it was the socket that was tilting on me, but it was actually my fault for not spreading the plates far enough apart.
There it goes. Broke the seal. Second one.
All right, ladies and gents, so after you press the bushings out, you want to go ahead and clean the inside of the bore. It's gonna have some sort of like a really thin film of rubber. It looks like the factory bushing has some kind of like rubber on there, and once you press it out, it's gonna be in there still. So you want to take a buffing wheel or by hand sanding sponge or something, anything, you know, and clean that out. So that way when you go to press it, it doesn't interfere with the new bushing, because you only get one shot. I'm gonna be real with you. You only get one shot. If you deform that bushing in any way, that's it. It's done. Pack it up, go home. It's like $80 something for a new one. So, all right. So I'll leave you with that. I'm gonna go ahead and just get off and let you guys continue to watch this part here. And I'm out of here. Peace.
All right. So I actually decided that I didn't like pressing it with a socket. It was kind of making the bushing tilt a little bit. So what I ended up doing was I used the plate as a sandwich, and then I added this this spacer. So I'm using the spacer to press it in so that it goes in nice and even, and I don't damage this at all. So just keep on pressing it till it's completely flush. All right, so we're completely flush now, so we can release it. Boom. So there you are, perfectly flush.
All right, big homie. So pretty much after you're done pressing that center section in, you're gonna lube the hell out of the inside of the bushing with the lube that's provided. Then you're gonna go ahead and grab your pin, slide the pin through, and then it's like a 3-part bushing. So you're gonna add the other 2 parts at the ends, and that's gonna complete the install for your caster arms. And there you are. Peace. Final
battle. Alright guys, so I was having one hell of a time trying to install the subframe using just a jack, and I just couldn't do it. So what I ended up doing was I came up with this plan. I ended up using the tranny jack and a 2x4, a small piece of 2x4 to center it on top of the tranny jack, and it seems to be this is actually the best way to do this. Also, when installing the bushings, because they're still very greased, they tend to slide in and out as you're trying to like maneuver it and like center it in the little dowels that come down. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, especially everything is super tacky and sticky, so it kind of sucks. So take a look. So this is what I did here. I was able to center it on top of this tranny jack, and the tranny jack actually allows me full movement of the
of the subframe. So this is gonna be pretty much what you're gonna end up doing. If you choose to do it this way, and if you're in the same predicament as me, doing it on their back. So as you see, I got the 2x4 right across the front of the nose of the diff, and then this allows me to be able to maneuver perfectly as needed and nice and even. So this is how you do it. All right, I'm gonna just get off. I can't really record this part here because it's just too time consuming. So peace. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna time lapse it.
Oh yeah. Are we talking about losing control? I'ma show you how we lose control, baby. Watch this. Look, Marty Mark. Watch the way I start up. I've been going hard, but I can go way harder. Every beat I'm on, yeah, you know that I slaughter. And I'm always looking gorgeous, chilling with somebody's daughter. Yeah, she loving me. Say she love the way my chain sit and contemplate. And of course it says my name if you wanna wait. To let you know who's finna blow. Always win and check the scope. I'm only losing control. Oh,
I like losing control. I get high when I'm feeling my flow. My mind is focused and I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Nah, nah.
Alright, YouTube, this is where we are finally we've got all the bushings installed and in place. This rear bushing was hell to pay. Now I'm gonna give you guys some perspective, so whoever decides to do this, just keep this in mind. With this differential, two things are gonna happen. One, this guibo is going to touch the top of the fuel tank. So even though you get a washer that you're going to install here, that washer is not enough to clear the tank once everything is all set and in place. So some people, what they do is they trim this heat shield away from the tank. I want to try to keep that heat shield in place just in case. You know, this is a fuel tank that's behind here, so I kind of want to keep whatever kind of protection. I want to keep it there. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to show you, is this big washer is what's supplied with the figs kit. What I ended up doing was I put a level on the front of this of the diff, and pretty much the diff is facing upwards. It's like slightly up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to shim the Super Pro bushings, and I'm going to add 2 fender washers like this. So I'm gonna add 2 fender washers on it. I'm gonna keep the nice large one at the bottom, so it goes against the Super Pro bushings, and you know, and I'm gonna just stack it like this. And when you do that, it actually will bring this down enough that it's gonna clear and it will level it out. So that's one. Two, when you remove, when you remove the subframe out of the IS300 or any unibody car for the fact, the whole car is gonna flex. Everything is gonna flex and kind of get out of shape, because the rear subframe is a main structural point of a unibody car. So after you weld that subframe, it's gonna warp, it's gonna deform a little bit, and it's gonna be hell to pay to center the bushings and the subframe over again. After the car's been sitting for a while without the subframe installed, it's flexed. Now you got heat warpage going on the subframe. What you're gonna need, some pretty strong ratchet straps, and I'm gonna show you the mounting points and how I did it. So you're gonna set them up on your frame rails. You have holes like this. You can see how much force I had to apply. So that's one point. There's the other point. I used 2 ratchet straps, and I came right here in this hole. I was able to grab one ratchet strap in that hole, and then I attached the other link to the metal loop on that other ratchet strap, and I used the maximum amount of force that you can use right before they broke in order to get this part of the subframe shifted forward for it to fall into place. Now once I got that into place, I had to turn around and install this cup here, because I had forgot to put it on there when I first did it. So this was the same issue. It would not center anymore. So what I had to do was come into this hole, add a ratchet strap there, and then another ratchet strap behind that one, and I looped it at the tow hook. So I used the tow hook in order to pull the frame back so that this will fall into place. So this subframe, I will tell you, ain't never coming out. Like, it's on there, and that's the end of it. So then it brings us to this next part here, which is the front of the differential, the nose of it being tilted too high up. So how we're gonna fix that, we already covered. We're gonna just shim the mounting points on it to drop it down, and if need be, cut this whole heat shield side of the fuel tank out, or this heat shield out, in order for it to clear. And that's pretty much how we're gonna end up doing it. All right, so just to let y'all know, we'll see each other. We'll get back to it later. Peace. All right, so we went ahead and installed it. So this is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna have 2 of those washers stacked up on there, and the large one at the bottom, so that'll make sure that you're not warping the Super Pro bushing. And this is pretty much the kind of clearance that you're gonna get. Now even at this point, if you really wanted to, you could probably fit a pry bar behind here and just, pry on it a little bit. I'm sure that under high loads it's gonna tilt up and touch, but it'll probably machine its own like little room by itself. But there it is.